And now we move to the Toretsk and Pokrovsky fronts. The bloody rampage of the enemy's army continues. On the Toretsk front, the aggressor attempted 4 times to breach our defense in the areas of the settlements Toretsk and Shchebinivka. Dragon is actively using aviation, hitting Toretsk, Kalinove, Ivanopilia, and Kostiantinivka with airstrikes. In the Pokrovsky direction, Russian invaders made 30 attempts to push our defenders from their positions in the areas of Mirolyubivka, Luk, Lesivka, Petrovka, Chumatske, and Pustir. The defense forces are holding back the offensive and have repelled 22 enemy attacks. 8 clashes are still ongoing. Ferocious battles are taking place in Toretsk-Donetsk region. Ukrainian soldiers eliminate up to 100 Russian occupiers there each day. Our defenders have also halted the Russian advance in Pokrovsk. However, the invaders have brought in reinforcements and may soon resume their attacks. The city is preparing for defense. It still has over 12,000 civilians, and the nearby villages are being stormed by Russians in small groups. Like paratroopers, they eliminated 6 Russians and destroyed their armored vehicles. This was witnessed by KTS and special correspondent Yulia Kirienko. And now you will see it too.
Pokrovsk is a partially destroyed, very desolate city, as if frozen in anticipation of its fate. Defense lines have already been built between the apartment buildings, and fighting continues in nearby villages.
Today, an infantry fighting vehicle carrying enemy troops was destroyed.
It's been an hour since the enemy armored vehicle caught fire. The infantry managed to jump off and is now running between our positions.
Let's rehearse the shot faster. Let's speed up with the shot.
They give the pilots a command. They go hunting for 6 Russians who launched an assault.
Reference point is the blue gates, and across from them, the buildings are destroyed. He's moving through the gardens here. Yes. These are enemy soldiers who have unloaded. By evening, they will be dead.
The commander is confident they will repel the assault, since it's not the first one today. The main thing is not to reveal our infantry hiding among these ruins and to prevent the Russian assault troops from reaching them. Drones are working ahead of time.
There, where the FPV hit, 2 severely wounded. Yes, excellent, we will finish them off.
Already down by 2. 4 more Russians are trying to hold out in the basements of destroyed buildings. One of them is the driver of an armored vehicle that's burning out nearby. He seems to understand there's only one way out of this assault for him.
I beg the pilot, do not
These
drop
Russian
us
assault
drone.
troops have entered the battle for the first time, says the paratroopers. The enemy has received reinforcements. A whole bunch of documents from recently mobilized Russians. Just 6 weeks and they're already at the front and already fallen on Ukrainian soil. Here on the Pokrovsky direction, the warriors of the 25th Sysheslav Brigade wiped out both the 1st and 2nd Russian echelons. That's true, but unfortunately, new ones keep coming. The Commander Kharkiv shows a collection of documents from the eliminated occupiers. Shuket gathered them specifically for journalists. Although guests from North Korea have not been seen here yet, these Russians are also from far away.
I like this.
How come?
Someone put in effort, picking an appearance for a short while. Where is he from? Tolyatti, Samara region?
The intensity of the battles around Pokrovsk has decreased compared to the fierce enemy offensive in the summer. However, the rolling assaults aimed at exhausting our troops have not stopped. It took our soldiers 3 hours and dozens of rounds of ammunition to repel this assault. The main thing is that these Russian soldiers didn't reach our infantry. Those were left forever among the ruins of the houses, which their own artillery destroyed.
At one position, we completely defeated 6 enemy soldiers.
On this day, the front line, which Savakiva line, which the 25th is responsible for, held without changes. And that means the road to Pokrovsk is still close to the enemy. But the soldiers understand that the fate of the front is not decided solely on these patches of the front held by the Sysheslav airborne troops. If Kurakova falls, the intensity of the fighting around Pokrovsk will rise again.
This week, the Ukrainian Pearl by the Sea, Odesa, suffered and endured much grief. First, the enemy brutally struck the city center with drones. A 35-year-old woman died. 10 more people were injured by gunfire. Among them is a 9-year-old boy. Our military notes that the enemy deliberately launches their Shaheds very low, so that after being shot down, they cause even more suffering to the local residents. More details coming up.
First missiles, then strike drones. The air raid siren sounded at 9 in the evening, and just 40 minutes later, residents of Odesa were startled by a series of explosions. Debris from the downed drones fell all over the center. 6 places were damaged by the explosions. Yulia shows the wrecked apartment. The entire floor is covered in glass. Plastic windows are shattered into pieces. Her son was saved by thick curtains that stopped the fragments.
We went to bed early because we had to get up earlier and the child fell asleep. Thankfully, my bed is very far from the windows. That night, the child slept with me instead of in their room. Otherwise, a glass pane would have fallen on them.
And this is what remains of another house, where the warhead of the Shahed exploded. People initially flinched from the explosion, and as they started rushing outside, the roof was already on fire. Glass and pieces of the roof crunched underfoot.
My mom passed away recently on October 21st. We're still in shock from it, haven't recovered. And now such a shock, I just don't know what to do. All the windows fell, some are broken, others don't close at all. It's the same with the doors.
A 35-year-old woman died and 10 more people were injured, including a 9-year-old boy who is in serious condition. 5 of the injured have already been discharged home. They had minor injuries, cuts from glass. 3 others remain in hospitals. A fragment is stuck in one woman's lungs. She will undergo surgery.
All patients received qualified medical care. In the morning, their condition is satisfactory. They feel well. They continue inpatient treatment.
In 2 apartment buildings, the roofs caught fire due to the fall of a Shahid warhead. The fire quickly spread through the wooden structures, so rescuers focused all efforts on extinguishing it. People were evacuated, and medics and psychologists worked with the shocked and injured.
People reacted differently. Some were in a state of severe panic. Additionally, a point of invincibility was set up near the site of one of the impacts at a school base. Rescuers assisted less mobile and elderly people in getting there.
People were hastily leaving their homes as drones attacked the city in several waves, and there was a threat of further explosions. They took their pets with them, who were also scared.
This is my kitty. His name is Dominic. He's a street cat. I took him with me. I had to save him. Then we're leaving and I'm told you took your documents, everything you need. I'm like, what about the documents? Oh, right. But at least I took the cat and a beautiful dress for work tomorrow.
The Shahed drones were deliberately flown so low, the military says, to cause the maximum damage when shot down. As a result of the attack, 5 apartment buildings were damaged, about 100 cars were affected, and a heating pipeline was destroyed. Nearly 50,000 residents of Odessa spent the night without heating. Additionally, crows were affected. Architectural monuments. Therefore, the authorities of Odessa are preparing an appeal to UNESCO.
But the troubles for the people of Odessa, unfortunately, did not end there. Russian war criminals created a new hell for them on November 18th. 2 consecutive missile attacks, one of which took the lives of 11 people, and the second left the city and the Odessa region without power. 55 people, including 4 Ukrainian children, were injured. KTSN correspondent Elena Chernyaeva is ready to tell more about the consequences of this dreadful terrorist act.
21 injured by the ballistic missile strike are still in hospitals in Odessa. 3 are in critical condition, while the other patients are in moderate condition.
Acoustic trauma, mine explosive injuries, cuts and shrapnel wounds to the face, head, back, upper and lower limbs. All emergency medical assistance has been provided in full. Currently, medication therapy is being administered.
I was at work when it hit. I'm a cosmetologist. As soon as I turned to set up my workspace, I was thrown with the window and the couch against the corridor doors. I got up, covered in blood, my shoulder injured, 60 stitches on my face. Everything fell apart. A part of a cluster rocket flew right into my office. I was completely cut up. Unexploded ordnance may still remain at the site of the ballistic missile debris, say DCE-3, say bomb disposal experts. That's why they are sweeping the area again in the morning. Residents are trying to board up shattered windows in this neighborhood. This is the third strike this year, so they will be installing window glass for the third time.
We just did that after the raid, put everything in. Oh my gosh, it's such a nightmare.
The debris of the downed missile fell in the city center in a crowded and densely populated area around noon. Numerous shops, cafes, a bank, a medical center, and a beauty salon were there at the time, with many people and dense residential buildings nearby.
I felt an 8 magnitude earthquake under my feet. That's how it felt. I was shaking, I screamed until I calmed down. In my sleepers, in pajamas, I grabbed the child and we held onto the windows in the hallway. Will the people of Odessa make it? Did someone say something there? The people of Odessa are already buzzing with tools. They'll make
For
it.
3 days, the residents of Odessa have endured without electricity, trams, and trolleybuses. Until yesterday, they were also without water and heating. Generators are now a familiar hum on the streets. Odessa's residents are no strangers to blackouts. They say they were prepared.
Півтори доби в нас не було світло.
We had no electricity for more than a day and a half, so we survived as best we could. We have a small child, so we cook food on a camping stove. But we can't afford much for ourselves. The refrigerators are not working, so we had to throw out everything that was in there. Energy workers are trying to repair the severely damaged equipment after the massive attack on Sunday morning so that citizens can at least have power according to a schedule. Right now, it is being turned off and on unpredictably.